Hey tubes. Alright, here's what we're going to do today. This is our little Pennsylvania Trike lawnmower. We're going to wire wheel it because we can't fit it in the sandblaster back there. So I'm going to take it outside and wire wheel it. Take it out by the shed and wire wheel the paint off it. Shouldn't be too tough because it's when they paint these things they don't prime or nothing. They just throw a top coat on them, so shouldn't be too much trouble. Alright, let's go back here and get some work done. Alright, we're out back here by the shed. That's where I get my electricity. But got this vise. I put this vise in the ground here to do this kind of stuff. It's a good sized vise, not as big as the one I have inside, but it's plenty big to wire wheel stuff. Got that idea from our buddy Jim. What's his username is not too fast for you to see. Maybe I'll put that. I'll put a link. He's a pretty cool guy. He's always commenting. But he does a lot of this stuff outside. And he gave me the idea to stick a vise out here in the ground, out there with some electricity. So thanks for the idea, Jim. It's a beautiful day out here. It's I'm out here under the trees, so I got plenty of shade. And let me scoot out here. It's about 75 degrees and cloudy, you know. Right now the sun's behind a cloud. Oh, here it comes. But beautiful, beautiful day. All right, so let's go back here and start doing some sanding or wire wheeling. Call it wire wheeling. Just put it's like about a 3-inch cup wire wheel on a grinder and you're good to go. Okay. Alright, we're about halfway done here. It's looking pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but that's what we got, you know. That's the hand we were dealt. But before we go any further, I showed you this wire wheel. And I failed to mention, when you're using a wire wheel like that, don't even think about using it without safety glasses. Because when these wear out, and as they're wearing out, these little wire things shoot all over the place. Matter of fact, you check out Road King's arm here, he's bleeding. One of them wire things came out and stuck right in my arm there. If that was your eye, you'd be blind. So let's flip this over and finish it up. Also got gloves on and earphones, headphones, whatever you want to call them, and a dust mask too. You don't know what you'll be breathing when you're sanding this stuff. Especially back then. Back then when they painted these, everything was lead paint, so you don't want to be breathing too much of that. Alright, we've got about 99% of it wire wheeled. You know, I mean, there's a couple little nooks and crannies in there that we're going to have to get with a wire brush and maybe sand it a little better, but I'm happy with what we got here. So let's take it inside there and finish her up. It's all degreased, all stripped down, all ready to go. Got it in my vise back here. Don't seem too bad back here. I mean, there's not much falling out of the trees, a few bugs, but we'll see how it turns out. Well, we got it all primed up now. It's pretty good. I mean, I didn't have too much trouble with bugs, but this stuff actually dries pretty fast, so we're lucky there. But we'll see what happens with the top coat. Alright, I'm going to give this about 15-20 minutes and I'm going to throw a top coat on it. Alright, we got 2 coats on it. It's looking pretty good. Got it upside down now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry a little bit and then turn it upside down, which will actually be right side up. And then I'll give it a good coat. That way you'll get a real nice shine of the areas that you're going to see, because you're never going to see all this here. This is the bottom. You're never going to see any of that. So that's covered. That won't rust. But we want to get a nice shine to it. So we're actually going to give it 3 coats. I'm happy. Looking pretty good. Get a nice shine there. You can see it in the sun. Alright, I'm gonna let this dry for about 20 minutes and then come back. Alright, there we go. That's the top and final coat there. Got a nice shine to it. I don't know what it looks like on camera, but where I'm standing, it looks pretty good. Alright, we're going to let this dry. I'm going to let this sit out for a couple hours, and then we'll bring it inside. Hopefully we don't get too many bugs or birds landing on it. Alright, see you inside. Alright, we're going to work on the seat now. I already got the bottom. That was all sandblasted, and I painted it with some flat black. This little support bracket here, I'm probably going to paint gloss black, and the springs, I'm going to paint them silver, so it should look good. I mean, it's going to be under my ass most of the time, so you're not going to see it. Like I said, I got the wire wheel at the top of it. This is what was on there. If you remember, this brackety cover. Well, actually, it was just it's not a cover. It was part of the seat. But it's shrunk up, and there's really not much I can do with it. You know, it's a shame because it has the horsehair, and there's not much padding, so you're really not getting much padding out of it. The springs is what gives you the comfort, really, and they're in good shape. They just the chrome is just messed up. But I decided what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to plastic dip the whole thing and just keep giving it as many coats as I can get at it as one can. This is black. And it should look alright, you know. It costs $300 to get one of these seats. This is equivalent to an old motorcycle seat off of like an old Harley or an Indian or something like that. And they get about $300 to reupholster them, and that's not going to happen, you know. This thing just ain't worth that. You know, and I could have reupholstered myself, but it would look like shit. So we're going to put the plastic dip on there and see what it looks like. It should be okay. Alright, let me throw it on here. Alright, there's the first coat. It doesn't look all that good because it's shiny, you know. And you can see the paint strokes and stuff, but once you put 3 or 4 more coats on there, you won't see any of that, and then when it dries, it'll be a flat black. So far I like it. I think it's gonna look pretty good. Alright. Yeah, the lights in here. Lights in here don't make it look that good. If you look at it at a certain angle, it'll look okay. Alright, got it all back together. I'm happy with the way the front wheel turned out. It's actually pretty straight. You can tell it was never hit. So the handlebars on, seat on, foot pegs on. Now all I have to do is drop it down to the ground here. I'm gonna put it on this. I'm not gonna restore that right now because we got a show tomorrow, which it'll be already over by the time this video goes up. But that's the reason I'm only doing a little bit at a time, so we can bring us to shows. So let me drop it down there and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, it's all together now. It's all ready to go. I probably won't do any more restoration until after the season. Even with the cables, you know, unless I find a cable. But I might put this little lever on here, and when you kick it into gear, you hear a little click. It clicks down and locks itself in. Hook on a bolt. That's pretty good. That way you don't have to keep holding it back here. But I like that engine on there, but you know, it's not the original. It's not what belongs there. This is what belongs on there, either a 5S, depending on how much you paid for it. You either got the 5S or the 6S, and I'm gonna put the 6S on there because it's a half a horsepower more. Plus the shaft is a little bigger. I don't know if you can tell from here, but that looks like a 5/8, and that looks like a 1/2 inch. But this engine here is the engine we use just for display when we bring the 4-horse brakes to shows. People like to see what it looked like originally. And this one here, here's something I've never seen. You see these holes on the top here? All the engines me and Mike rebuilt, all the 5S's and 6S's, I always see the holes and never knew what they were for. You know, and there must have been dozens of them that we messed with and broke up and rebuilt. But we got this one here, and here's what the little holes are for. certain models, they must have put they bolted it on like that. Kind of crazy. You know what's wacky too? Look how crooked that emblem is. You know, when they put these together back in the 50s, you know, they weren't worried about looks or nothing like that. They just wanted them to run and sold them. But I'm going to take this. This was probably like a $5 engine or something. It's missing the carburetor, gas tank, exhaust. But we'll rebuild this. Maybe we'll make a series out of that. This actually was designed for a... It has a cup on here now. But from the looks of that crank, this was a pull start at one time. Somebody messed with this. You know, a recoil pull start, I mean. And they just put a cup on here to make it look like this one. So we'll probably have to cut the shaft on there and put a different shroud and stuff. But we'll make it look good. Alright, so that's it. It's going to be it for this, this part of the series anyway. Maybe the next thing we'll do is just show rebuilding this engine. You guys seem to like the rebuilds, the engine rebuilds, so. And we'll be taking this to the show, just the way it is. Maybe I'll put a new wooden bar on the back there, wooden rollers. They look pretty pitiful. Alright, till our next video, we'll see you.